Rightly Witterings, and today you'll notice something astonishing. I've got new glasses and the camera's decided to focus again. No, don't ask me why, I've no idea. Today I thought it was about time I got back to basics, and a delightful fellow, Chris Curtis, sent me through some paper to experiment with, Oxford, which he says really is extremely good stuff, so I'm going to look at that. But he also sent me, this isn't so easy to do, but I'm just going to hold them up, a whole bunch of different inks. The reason why he sent them to me was because he sent me this one, Alt Goldgrün, last year, and I absolutely love it. It's one of those inks that is just so gorgeous. I'm keeping it inked up in my Visconti all the time right now. But he sent me all these other ones too. He sent me some lovely Blue Mare, which I have been using and is absolutely gorgeous because it goes perfectly with my new notebook. So I thought it would be fun to just experiment with some inks and some paper. So here we go. Now, as you can see, we've got a nice little setup here. Notebook, bunch of inks. Ignore the Bay State Blue, I'm not using that today. Instead, it's these ones. And I'm going to put them in a rough order of colour because some of these are going to be quite dark because there's some which are oak gall based inks. So I think that's going to make roughly the right sort of order in which to test them. And what I'm going to use is my tried and trusted TWSBI Go pen with a 1.1mm stub nib. That means that hopefully it should give all the line variation and everything else you'd hope to see in a decent notebook. Right, so let's get started. First of all, just looking at this notepad, it's got really good thick covers, so it does feel as though there's going to be a robust, sensible type of notepad. It's an organiser book, which helps you get organised and keeps you organised, it says. Good to know. It's got time zones and all that sort of stuff. It has useful dividers, and I assume these dividers can be pulled out so that they can, the dividers all come out, let me just show you from the top there, and then can be reinserted wherever you want, so you can use these dividers logically throughout the notebook. That's nice, I like that. And then you've got different sections so you can tab off where each divider is according to each of these sections. Nice touch, I like that. It's the sort of thing that would be very useful for me at work were I still a working sort of a person instead of a bone idle author who does various YouTube videos for the hell of it. So never mind that, fold that underneath. And now let's try first of all the one that I know I love, Alt Goldgrün, which is a glorious ink. If you haven't seen my ink reviews before, there's a load of them on the internet, and I go through all of the Diamine inks and various others as well. Now, for those of you that don't know how I do these things, what I do is I write up with each of the inks in sequence, and then I flush out the pen very thoroughly using two different buckets of water. One to flush out all the old ink, and the second one just to make sure that there's nothing other than pure water in the pen. And that way there shouldn't be any cross-contamination of different inks. So that's the Alt Goldgrün. I'll now flush through this pen. Don't worry, by the way, if you're worried that this video is going to be all about flushing out pens and stuff. No, it ain't. They'll all be edited out carefully, apart from this first one while I'm talking about it. Now, the next ink I'm going to look at is Blue Mar. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation, but it looks about that to me. Blue Mar, Blue Mary. This is an ink which really wants to stay coating the nib. I've noticed this every time I've filled it into a pen. It really is quite persistent. It's also an absolutely glorious colour. I've been using this for the last few days, and it's a very bright turquoisey colour. It really does pop off the page, doesn't it? You can tell compared to the Altgoldgrün, which is a much more mild sort of a colour. The next colour is Salix, I think. It says Eisengallos Tinte. I don't know what that means, but this is another one that's really persistent on the nib. It's trying to stay on the nib all the time. So I don't know what it is they put in these, but I really do like the way that these inks react. They seem to want to be used. Ooh. Just in case you're wondering, there is a reason why I'm not really writing perfectly to each line on this paper. And the reason is, I am writing with my left hand round one side, my right hand round the other side of this camera tripod. It's difficult enough trying to write at all leaning around the camera tripod without trying to make your writing really neat and sensible and sticking to each line. So if that offends, I'm afraid you're going to have to stay offended. And while saying that, I've just dropped my pen into the pot of water that's supposed to be cleaning it. I now have ink all over both hands, as well as a lot of water. The joys of YouTubing all on your own. You know, it used to be a lot easier when I had a daughter come in and direct the films for me. Never mind. And now we have a third ink that really wants to stay out in the open and get used. This is bizarre. This is the verdigris. Let's see how verdigris works. So, for my fifth test, here we have sepia. I like sepia. Sepia is a lovely colour. Ooh. Not as red as I would have expected. I'll tell you what though, that is going to be a really nice one to use for sketching and watercolouring. Last but not least, Eisengallos Tinte Scabiosa. So I assume Eisengallos Tinte means that it's iron gall or something. So here we go. Now I find these results really very interesting. Let's just pull back a little bit. The Altgoldgrün I have always loved. I really do adore the shading that you get. It just works superbly well. But most recently, since I've acquired a William Hanna book with a blue on the inside of the covers that is exactly that colour, I've been using this for a while, and I think that's just fabulous. Really good shading again. The Eisengalles Tinte Salix, I don't know what, I wish I could remember what Salix meant, but this is a lovely, lovely blue. Very, very taken with that. Equally, the Verdigris I think is just a gorgeous. It's gone down much more black than when I was writing. When I was writing it was a very dark teal. I would say now it's dried. It is still a teal, but it's much more on the blue level than the green. But that is really nice. Sepia, well, I'm not that keen on brown inks generally, so this is my least favourite of the lot. But it has got very nice shading and it works really nicely in the pen, so I was taken with that. What I wasn't expecting was the Scabiosa. I'm not sure how that's pronounced again, so apologies if it's wrong, but that is a gorgeous, gorgeous purple. And in fact, I think that would take over in my favourite purples from Poussière de Lune. I really like Poussière de Lune, but this I think looks... It's understated, as I said there, but it looks absolutely gorgeous on the page. Now, this is a test not only of inks, but also of paper. And you can see here that this paper is ruddy perfect. It's absolutely, I'll try to zoom in a bit. I don't know how clear that is, but there is no feathering whatsoever that I can see. I'm just having a look with my magnifying glass. Here you go, magnifying glass. I can see no feathering, nothing on this paper. It's taken all of these inks really superbly well. It also felt absolutely gorgeous to write on. It is a very smooth surface, rather like the very best Rhodias, or even Tomo River, come to that. I'd say it's slightly thicker. I don't know exactly what the weight is of this. I would think it's probably in the order of 90 GSM, but that's just a guess. It will no doubt tell me, and I'll probably find out exactly what weight the paper is as soon as I stop recording this video, because that is what we call sod's law in England. But it's exactly how I like it. I much prefer having my pen just smoothly going across the surface of the paper without me being able to feel it. What more can I say, huh? So there you have it. One set of really gorgeous inks and some fabulous paper that is so smooth I can see myself getting more Oxford pads in the future. That is really nice stuff. The inks, well, the sepia doesn't grab me so much, but all of the other five I think are beautiful, and I'll be using them with great enjoyment. Thank you, Chris. So thanks very much to Chris Curtis for the opportunity of testing all those inks and the paper. Thanks also to you for watching, because if you weren't watching there'd be very little point me making these videos. If you have time, please nip down the bottom and have a look at the link through to Patreon. If you've got any comments or questions, please stick them down the bottom in the comments section. Also, please hit the subscribe and then hit the bell button so that you get notified when I've put a new video up, and share it with your friends just to show that you're a bit of a boring sort of person like me. And that really is about it for now. Yes, I've spoken about inks, I've spoken about paper. What more can I talk about? The dogs? I don't think so. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to putting up the next video for you very soon. Take care. Bye.